Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and yesterday I had one of my friends text me to ask me what hard wallet to get. I told him I used the Ledger. I didn't tell him about the Ledger Stacks because I thought that might be too much for him. But I wanted to make everybody aware they are still doing that, but they still have the Ledger Nano X and the S Plus available. So you don't have to have a Ledger Stacks, but I made him aware of these just because this might be too much for him to learn something I haven't even learned yet. But anyway, most of you are veterans out there. The link to this will be in the top of the description. Now, something I talked about last week, and I very rarely do this, but I did it because there was a little bit of confusion. I had people asking me about this billfold, and all it is it's a way to put your 24 words into metal and have them in metal so that if you had a fire or something like that, or if you don't have a fireproof safe or whatever, or if you don't have it in a PO box or whatever, it's just a little safer to have it on metal rather than just written down on paper. And so, but what I wanted to make sure everybody understood, you're not giving anybody, don't ever give anybody your 24 words. Here's how it works. Here, everybody, I just got my billfold wallet here. Just wanted to show it to everybody. This is what it looks like. It's two-sided. So what you do is you put your first 12 words, word seeds on one side, and then you do your second 12 on the other side. And so I had people asking me, so I wanted to show you this. What it comes with is like a plate of all these letters that you can punch out. So whatever your 24, you got two plates that it comes with. So whatever your 24 words are, you actually punch them out of there and put them together, and then you slide in. You'll see right here it's got numbers, so you can slide them in, and so you're not giving anybody, and don't give anybody ever your 24 word seed phrase for your Ledger Nano S. And by the way, this was not included, but look what my wife gave me for Christmas: the official DAI Tervis tumbler. So I put a link right here below this tweet if you wanted to go get one, but I'll also have a link in the top of the description if you wanted to get one of those. Now, I keep going over this Jeremy Hogan tweet about how there's 45, he says about 45 days till the end of the XRP case. This was on the 6th that he wrote that, so subtract 2 days, 43 days left. He said about 45 days, okay? Well, Anders L. had retweeted it and said, I think there's some deadline on March 31st, if I'm not mistaken. It's about the judge deciding whether the case goes to trial. But the judge could also say that certain parts go to trial and make a judgment on other. Surely this judge is at least at a minimum going to rule that XRP itself and XRP in the secondary market is not a security. Surely. All right. Now, because we're coming to an end of this case, I wanted to go back and remind everybody of a couple of things. Here's one.
So I don't know what it is about Ripple, but there's something about it that makes people excited or freaked out or both or a little of everything. I mean, and in 2017, the price of XRP was up, 32,000%.
Yeah, that was back when we had an actual free market. XRP was surging more than anything. That was before all the shenanigans began.
And, there are reports that said that...
And if you watch this interview, these two guys are completely... They're trying their best to figure out a way to poke some holes in this. And by pure coincidence, I think this is the guy who interviewed Bill Hinman when he gave the Bill Hinman Ethereum free pass speech. By coincidence.
That made you and other executives there billionaires, Brad. And is that right? Is that normal? Did that blow your mind? I mean,
see, that's what set all this in motion. Remember that Laura Shin New York Times article? We know she hates Ripple. Remember that Laura Shin New York Times article when XRP hit its all-time high, and she put on there Chris Larson, the top whatever richest, and she did a whole write-up on it. She was intentionally trying to get people to look at it so that the red flags would go up. That's why she wrote it. I remember David Schwartz making a comment that he knew when he saw that article that was the high.
Is it true? What's the bottom line there? Maybe we have a chart. We have a chart of that.
We have a price chart of XRP that we can pull up.
Pull it up.
I'll tell you the exact same thing I tell people inside the company. Woo! Look at that. When I say inside the company is the exact same thing I would say outside the company. The price of XRP over 3 hours, over 3 days, over 3 weeks, or even 3 months, that is not success. That's not how I measure success. I think about success over the next 3 to 5 years. The problem we talk about, these pre-funded accounts, the liquidity that the Bank of Andy wants to park at other banks, there's over $20 trillion parked in pre-funded accounts around the world. This is dormant capital. We're solving a problem measured in the trillions of dollars. And if we can activate that asset, if we can make global commerce more efficient, there's an opportunity to drive a lot of velocity, a lot of demand, and a lot of volume across XRP. We are just at the starting line. I also said, look, I think we've taken the first few steps of a marathon. But what I can also say is we've crossed the starting line of that marathon, and really no other companies in this space have.
Exactamundo. And then there was this. Remember what John Deaton has been saying all along? That many people bought this without even knowing what Ripple, the company, was. Watch this. These guys know.
But the idea that at the end of 2017, especially in December, we saw a frenzy of investment in cryptocurrencies, often from people who didn't necessarily do any real homework on these cryptocurrencies. Often on our live shows, I spend time talking about the different tech behind each coin. And my colleague, Miles Edlund, I think very correctly often says, well, these people don't care. They don't care about the tech that's behind them. They just want to buy the coins and watch them go up. And especially with XRP, Ripple, as we showed that chart, it just spiked so high. Is it concerning to you, alarming, or unsurprising to know that obviously at the end of the year, so many people were going to websites where they could buy up Ripple. They don't know anything about Ripple.
Well, buy up XRP. Mm-hmm. I mean, an important distinction that we try to make repeatedly is you can't really, you can buy shares of Ripple, the company, on the secondary market, but what people are buying is XRP.
Well, I can promise you, I've never seen a video where those two guys right there were worried about whether it was concerning that the price of Bitcoin or Ethereum went up. Okay, moving along. This is John Deaton. This is a tweet from a lawyer. Sullivan Cromwell bills $7.5 million for the first 19 days of FTX work. Now, remember, these guys represented FTX in the lead up to the fraud. They're also all involved in ETHgate. John Deaton says, I'm sorry, but as someone who's been around some of the best and brightest lawyers in the world during the last 25 years, on both the plaintiffs and defense side, I have yet to meet lawyers worth this kind of money, almost $400,000 per day. Then we've got this. I think it's a great time for me to remind everybody of why XRP holders, now remember, the SEC's job, their number one job is to protect investors. They have completely ignored XRP holders for over 2 years and actively and continuously harmed us. This is a reminder of why they've been harming us.
And there are a very small number of banks who dominate that, and they extract billions of dollars of profit from the rest of the banks. They sit on the top. When you ask why is Jamie Dimon, saying things about, Jamie Dimon, well, actually, Citi is kind of number one, HSBC is probably number two, but JPM is way up there at the top, and they're making a lot of money from other banks. When we go talk to banks, 99.9% of banks, they're like, we want Ripple to be successful because I'm sick of paying these guys, and they're taking a lot of money from me that I then have to take from my customer, and why do I want to feed Citi to be more competitive with me in this local market?
And if you mentioned Jamie Dimon, so let's bring it back to Jamie and JP Morgan. What do you think is going to be the thing that they will have to change the most or lose market share and somebody else is going to do better, faster, serve their clients better than JP Morgan or Goldman Sachs can?
You can just hear the bankers panicking right now.
But what
You just
what
feel
line,
the panic in their voices.
What's the line
But here's
of business that is most
well. Here's what always happens. The first thing that happens is they try to go, oh, it's nothing, and they did that. I mean, that's with every new industry, every new technology comes along. The powers that be, the incumbents, the status quo, all say it's nothing. Don't ignore the man behind the curtain. This is nothing. And then all of a sudden, it's too big to get in there. You know, they're going, oh my God, I got to face this thing. And then they all line up and they wrap their arms together and they say, we're not letting this happen. And then it keeps going. And then they say, okay, well, let's sue them. Or let's go get the government.
There's another thing they do. They adopt the technology. I think.
No, that's at the end.
They will adopt this technology.
No, this is the last thing they do. No,
Yeah, it's like
it's
the
after.
seven
It's
stages
after.
of the
Right.
out.
It's after the press planning. They plant the press stories. They put out lawsuits. They create as much of a fuss as possible. They try to get their government friends involved. And then they go, oh, God, this thing's happening.
Exactly. eGrag Crypto, he's got another funny term here. XRP sling shut or sling shot? I think he means, let me see. No, he means shut. He says it twice. Sling shut. Traders dynamic index. XRP bulls are fighting aggressively to penetration fib speed resistant. I don't know what any of that means. Then he says, it will be a slingshot penetration like always. So anyway, these guys are at it. Look at this. There are rumors. This is from the XRX guy. Nothing in the world. Oh yeah, he's right about that. My dad's taught me this from a young age. Expector. There are rumors that Visa and Ripple are secretly working together because Visa has teamed up with at least 4 Ripple partners in recent years: Earthport, D-Money, Currency Cloud, and Navati. If confirmed, this would be huge. I like it. Then there was this. I've been going back and finding some interesting clips. This is something everybody needs to be thinking too, and that is that once this lawsuit's over, Brad Garlinghouse has talked about how they would probably go to IPO. Well, there's always other options too. Somebody like a Facebook could come along and buy them too. That's always a potential too. I doubt it though. I think the IPO is where we're going. Check this out.
Brad, look, if you do a good job, what's going to end up happening is Facebook is just going to buy you.
Well, look, I don't know how to speculate on acquisitions.
You never know. Then there was this, Stefan Huber, who never gives up. We built Scale It. This is from an article today about Consensus founder bullish on Ethereum following crypto winter. And there's quotes in here, folks. He's like, we built scalability, usability. Now we can build more use cases. ETH Foundation developers aiming for March 23rd date for withdrawals, promises of profits. Third-party promoter, I guess. Central development of basic functions, building the ecosystem, lending, staking. It's all there. It's all there for Gary Gensler because I reminded in a whistleblower alert, Joseph Lubin's bragging about his crypto lending products and the profits he thinks will be made from Ethereum. You sued BlockFi and Nexo for interest. Threatened Coinbase over lend product, over paying interest. You tied Ripple up in a lawsuit for over 2 years for doing much less than what this guy's ever done. Gary, Hester, whistleblower alert. Then there's this. I like this. Look at this. XLS 30D, all right? Automated market maker on XRPL has been proposed as a PR on Ripple's code base. AMM will become the primary trading method, enable passive income, allow RippleNet to hold supremacy over other L1s. This is bigger than you may realize. This amendment should create an environment that will promote Ripple net dominance. Check this out. When there is pooled liquidity built into the system, we won't need buyers to be waiting for sellers, which makes ODL transactions more seamless, efficient. Along with that, There are custom, unique features built into this amendment that have never been seen before in crypto. Check this out. Every DEX, AMM, and overbook can be connected to and utilized as if they were. Example, operations may be executed better on different XRPL DEX in this event. So anyway, this is the part that excites me. Primary trading method and enable passive income. That is what we're after here, folks. I want to finish with this. There was a tweet here, and I haven't seen the source on this, but it illustrates a point that I want to make. Breaking. Consumers complain about 50% withdrawal fees on Crypto.com exchange. Okay, I don't know if that's true, but it does illustrate a point. For those that believe, because there's been a lot of people say that the government can't control do anything to my XRP. I've got a Ledger Nano OS and I have my own keys. Well, you're right. They can't come in. They can't just go and take your XRP. You're right. But the problem is, and this is a good example of it. So here these people, now they're not in control of their keys, but it illustrates a point. They're sitting there and this company says, oh, well, now you have to pay us 50% withdrawal fee if you want to withdraw your crypto. Well, the same thing could be done. Let's say yours is on a Ledger Nano S and I'm Mr. Government. I say, well, if you don't turn that stuff in off your Ledger Nano S by such and such date, then the taxes on that crypto, we're going to increase the taxes to 99.9%. Well, what does that do effectively? What it does is it makes an otherwise valuable asset almost worthless unless you turn it in by such and such date. And the government can come up with all sorts of schemes like that. And so that's why we all have to be fighting the good fight at all times, because it's true. This government right now is capable of anything. You're talking about people who have intentionally suppressed information from their own citizens. You're talking about all kinds of nefarious activities that have gone on. You're talking about all kinds of illegalities that these people seem to never be punished for. I mean, we live in a crazy world these days now, folks. It's downright scary. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that all bets are off when it comes to this government we have. I don't know about other countries, but in the United States, this is not what I grew up in. This is much closer to being I don't know what kind of government, but it's not free market capitalism. I can tell you that.